Tonight, newly unsealed case files paint a clearer picture of the investigation that's been running quietly for more than a year. The documents, while heavily redacted, outline a timeline of meetings, payments, and internal memos that prosecutors say could be critical to the outcome.
Tonight, newly unsealed federal filings show investigators have been tracking how sensitive records move through multiple agencies over the past decade. The documents, parts of which remain heavily redacted, outline concerns about inconsistent storage and unauthorized access. Officials say
Tonight, a critical legal deadline has officially passed. Midnight marked the final opportunity for parties to file challenges under the new statute. As of this morning, the window is closed. In plain terms, missing that date means the court is unlikely to hear late.
Investigators say the trove is staggering. Hundreds of gigabytes of internal documents and recordings. But what the public has actually seen is just a fraction of that material. As the files were examined, only about 5% was made public.
We begin with a live briefing from the Justice Department. The Attorney General is addressing questions on the ongoing investigation into public procurement practices. Let's listen.
Thank you. This afternoon, the department is announcing new steps to ensure the...
Tonight on Capitol Hill, a bipartisan group of lawmakers says it is weighing legal action over the administration's handling of classified documents. Members on both sides of the aisle tell us they believe subpoenas and even a court challenge may be necessary to secure information they say is being withheld.
Tonight, survivors tell us they still don't have the answers they need. In an exclusive interview, they say crucial details are being withheld, information they believe could change the course of the investigation. Out of concern for their safety, we're protecting their identities, but they share a clear...
Tonight, former President Harris says his administration will open records from the final year of his term, pledging what he calls, quote, an era of transparency. Speaking at a D.C. forum, he promised to release visitor logs and internal...
Tonight, questions remain about what else may be in those files. Investigators have confirmed the existence of additional documents, but they have yet to make them public. We're staying on top of it, and we'll bring you updates as soon as they're released. For now, we'll keep asking the questions.
We have breaking news on the investigation involving Andrew Weissman and Julie K. Brown. Sources indicate in a significant political development, both candidates have expressed their commitment to look at our panelists for tonight's discussion. First, we have Andrew Weissman, known for his extensive experience in legal matters. It's that Andrew Week, Brown and Jay Brown have been involved in a major scandal. Details are still emerging, but sources indicate both candidates have strong platforms, but let's delve into their key differences.
The most important takeaway from the document release is straightforward. The law was not followed. A statute required that materials be released by a specific deadline. That deadline passed, and full compliance did not occur. This is not a matter of interpretation or political spin. The requirement was clear, and the response failed to meet it. Officials have suggested that the delay is due to complexity and the volume of material involved. However, that explanation raises serious questions. Transparency has been promised for years, including during the administration of Donald Trump, whose allies have repeatedly claimed that openness was a priority. If transparency truly mattered, the groundwork could have been completed long before the deadline arrived. Adding to the confusion is the government's own prior messaging. The Department of Justice previously indicated that the Epstein archive contained hundreds of gigabytes of data and suggested there was little new or noteworthy inside. Yet the materials released today represent only a fraction of that volume. The numbers simply do not align, and the gap between what exists and what has been disclosed remains enormous. Public statements made earlier in the day further complicated matters. Todd Blanche stated that additional records would be released in the coming weeks. That approach conflicts directly with the law, which did not authorize rolling disclosures or partial compliance. When a legal deadline is missed intentionally, the violation does not disappear simply because action may occur later. Members of Congress now face a decision about how to respond. Hearings are one option, allowing lawmakers to demand sworn testimony and explanations. Other tools carry more weight, including enforcement mechanisms that can trigger real consequences. Legal experts note that knowingly ignoring a statutory mandate can expose officials to future liability, regardless of political timelines. From a reporting standpoint, what stood out most was how little of today's release was actually new. Many of the documents appear to originate from early investigations conducted years ago, including materials connected to a 2005 search of Epstein's Palm Beach property. These records have circulated in various forms before and are already part of the public historical record. The real issue is not merely what was released, but how it was presented. Files were uploaded without meaningful organization or explanation. Context was largely absent, leaving readers unable to easily determine dates, relevance, or investigative significance. When information is scattered and unlabeled, transparency becomes performative rather than substantive. For survivors, this approach is especially troubling. Many individuals who provided testimony to federal investigators know precisely what they said and what evidence they shared. Attorneys who worked on related cases also understand what the government possesses. Yet almost none of that survivor-centered material appeared in today's disclosure. The technical structure of the release adds another layer of difficulty. Thousands of individual PDF files must be opened one by one. Search tools are unreliable, and image files cannot be meaningfully searched at all because they lack metadata. For photographs, there is no efficient way to determine content without manually reviewing each file. Even experienced journalists with institutional resources described the process as exhausting and inefficient. If professionals struggle to navigate the system, the burden on ordinary citizens and survivors is far greater. Access to information should not require specialized knowledge or endless hours of labor. Taken together, the events of today suggest a strategy that prioritizes delay and confusion over clarity. Releasing small amounts of old material in a disorganized format creates the appearance of action while withholding the substance the law requires. Until the full record is disclosed clearly,
we believe that the evidence will show that President Trump did not engage in any wrongdoing.